estate market update. So let's kind of roll through kind of what's been going on. Now it's week after week after week. It's been crazy. It's been wild. The market's going nuts. We know all that. Give us something new about what's kind of happened on the market. Let's go down up. We'll go Dylan, and then Scott, and then Heidi. Dylan, what's something new to tell us about of what's been happening on the Big Island? Something that's newsworthy. And make sure you unmute. There you go.
Yeah, so the quick summary is, I mean, not much has changed. It's actually gotten even crazier. But I'll share with you just a quick kind of stat to illustrate what's going on here. So, and this is going to be the last time really it's going to make sense to be looking at data from a year ago, right? Normally we compare month to month data from a year ago, and that gives us some indication of what's changed or what's went up or what's down. But if we look at March of 2020, which is the last month really where we had normal data, because after that, everything shut down and people stopped coming. But those were 2 months where January and February, those deals went in under contract. So March closings were still kind of reflective of a normal, normal time. But back in March of last year, there was about 3,500 properties on the Big Island available, and there was 754 in escrow or under contract. And today, in March of 2021, there are almost 1,600 active listings, so less than half of what there was a year ago. And there are 1,631 properties under contract. So there is one property under contract for every single property that is available. And that includes every single property in Ocean View and Lower Puna, the 1 acre, $10,000 lots where there's hundreds of them available. So this is crazy. I mean, it's like a 1-to-1 ratio right now of properties that are available versus properties that are under contract.
That is. I think the word is, and Judy, who's a member of the Islander Ohana, bananas, and that's the word that you've used in the past.
And Judy's definitely experiencing that. I mean, we're trying to look at houses, and it's like as soon as something comes on, we try and schedule an appointment, and then it's under contract before we can even get there. 24 hours later. So it's pretty frustrating.
Bananas. Yeah, thank you, Judy. Well said. And Kinaya, awesome. Welcome, Kinaya. Kinaya is also an alumni member of the Islander Ohana. She has gone through the five cohort meetings, and great to see you, Kinaya. And Kinaya will be, hopefully we're going to be doing a meetup. Haven't planned the exact date yet, but we're going to be doing a meetup on Oahu in June for Islander Ohana members and alumni. And so I am looking forward to that. I think Mark, one of the alumni, Mark, had an idea that it's a long story, but we're going to have chocolate shakes at Baby Makapu. There's a story behind all that. But anyway, let's see what else we got over here. So yes, great. Definitely good. My master for sure. We'll hook you up with Heidi for sure. Yeah, Kinai, if I can find a car, the car thing is just more bananas on cars. Turo, right? I mentioned Turo. Kinai, you'd be curious if you found anything on Turo on Oahu. Dylan, be curious. Did you ever rent your car? Dylan, you were talking about renting your car with Turo. Whatever happened with that?
I did not, mainly just because I don't have the time to set it all up, and it's probably a bad excuse. But yeah, I have not. But I do have a spare car just sitting ready to go. So.
Well, not have the time is a euphemism for it means I'm too busy making money in another way. It's not worth my time. That's what that really means, which is great.
And it is nice to hold on to. So when friends visit and they're having issues, I can offer a car to them. So that's one of my disincentives. Is that's more important to me, is to have it available for folks if they're visiting and they can't find a car. So
yeah. But I did check on Turo, for example, and there's people on the Big Island that are renting out their cars like yours, and they're $300 a day. So Dylan, you must be very successful if you don't have time for $300 a day to rent out a car that you're not using. I'd say God bless you. That's what I got to say. Yeah. So can I be curious about that? And Jessica is also a alumni of the Honor Hunter. Ready for the meetup, right, Jess? And we're looking forward to that. Jessica is also coming to Oahu, but going to be there in June. So that is actually going to be fun. I am really looking forward to that. Kind of losing my place over here. So who's up next? Heidi. What's up with is it Heidi's turn? Let's see. Yes, No, wait, it's Scott's turn. Scott, give me what's going on. Give us some news of what's happening on Oahu, real estate wise.
Yeah, so I got some new stuff for you. So I've been talking about condos, right? I've switched from single family homes to condos and for a reason. So condo sales, if we look this month versus previous, are up 53%. The number of sales compared to the same time last year. Price is up 3.7%, but pending sales, meaning number of escrows, are up 70%. So the movement is happening. I've been talking about it. I see it. It's happening to the condo side now. It's bananas and crazy in the housing market, but it's starting to move to the condo side. But the interesting thing is, and Dylan was just talking about that, talking about the number of available properties. There's 1,348 condos on the market. Last year, there was probably 1,600. So we're not that far off from where we were in kind of a normal marketplace, or where we were last year, which was kind of more of a normal marketplace. But the inventory is going to start to shrink. The number of sales are increasing. Prices going up in condos. And that coincides with the tourists coming back. So, keep an eye on that. That's what's going to be going up. I mean, the single family home side is up 20% in price. So that area is just absolutely bonkers. And now people are starting to move to the condo side, and I'm seeing more and more strength in the condo side, but you do have options in the condo side.
Excellent. Scott, thanks for that update. Again, what this is, if you've been regularly watching the show, you've heard Scott say this, that, once the single family home market kind of got sort of taken up, and condo was going to follow, and condo is now following. Heidi, give us the Maui update.
Well, it seems like buyers are becoming more motivated. Sellers are becoming less motivated. I reached out to some people who were talking about selling last year, and now their feeling is everything's going great, not going to list the place. Just some market data on Maui. So comparing first 3 months of last year, 2020, which was a pretty good market, to first 3 months of this year, 2021, number of condos under contract has increased 127.4%. Single family homes under contract has increased 61.8%. And I'm sure that number would be higher if we had more inventory. So when we're saying bananas, I mean, everybody's just working in the real estate industry. I mean, whether you're an appraiser, escrow person, realtor, there's a lot going on. But one thing I did want to mention is, just because the market's crazy doesn't mean every listing you should pay above full price for. So that's where I think it's really important to connect with a good realtor. Of all my escrows right now, I mean, there's still, most of them, there is some negotiation in price. I mean, there are times when it makes sense to offer way above asking price, but there's also times when it doesn't. So anyway, just because the market's crazy, don't go crazy yourself.
Don't go crazy. And that's almost a closing thought there. Don't go crazy with the crazy market. Excellent. Thank you, Heidi. You guys are great. There's like all kinds of fun comments that are coming in. Let me kind of get a few over here. So we've got, let's see here. So Marcus, what percentage of people are having to offer above asking price? Everybody or just a few? Well, to your point, Heidi, I guess not everybody, but what's the general feeling on that? Here, let me ask you this. What percentage of homes are selling at asking price? Anything above zero? Is anything still for asking price? Scott, go ahead.
So the number that I've been looking at is that it's 60% of the homes are selling above asking on Oahu.
60% above.
Heidi, so 40 or at or below. So
40 or at, well, there's the good news. 40 are at or below. Heidi, you have a sense of what percentage of homes are getting above asking price? Any sense?
I don't have that data point.
What's your feeling? What's your intuition saying?
Less. I mean, it's less. There's still a lot of properties that are closing right now below asking, but then there's also situations. I mean, I've been in representing buyers in a couple multiple offer situations where they made an offer $80,000 above asking price and didn't get it. So, I mean, it just It depends. It
depends.
depends. It
It
depends on
depends.
the situation, and it's important to assess what the situation is on the particular listing or
Sure.
market you're in, and then make a decision from there.
So Dylan, what's the ratio that you would throw at?
So inside baseball for this stat, which is a hard one to nail down, is that so average right now with what the stats are showing is 98% average is 98% list to sold price. So people are almost getting 100% on average of what they're asking. But the inside baseball on this is a trick that realtors use is if they get a property under contract over list price, they change the MLS list price to what the contracted price is because it helps with appraisals in this crazy market. Because the appraisers are going to look at what you listed it for, what you're under contract for. You know, it's one of the things that they're factoring in. And so what people do sometimes is they will, after the fact, after the property goes under contract, change the MLS list price to what they're under contract for, so it matches up and it doesn't look like it's 50,000 over asking price. And sometimes that helps with an appraisal. So sometimes a stat doesn't always reflect exactly what was going on at the time of the contract negotiation because they'll adjust that after the fact.
Inside baseball.
Yeah.
Love the inside baseball scoop. Mark,
but I would say in general, just my feeling is if the property is priced properly, it does sell for over ask, but there are people being crazy and being super ambitious and putting a house on that's worth 650 for 800,000, and it does sit there because I mean, no matter how crazy the market is, buyers aren't going to grossly overpay. So
they're not that crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, the advice we give sellers is don't be crazy. Just let's price this the way we normally would and let the market take care of it at that point. Because if you miss and you're 60,000 over what it would normally sell for, you may be missing out on getting 50,000 over because you're just too high and nobody's going to offer for it. Where if you listed it right and you get 3 or 4 multiple offers and people bid it up over asking price, you may get 50,000 over where you missed it if you priced it at 60,000 over. So it's still, you got to be smart about it. You can't be crazy, but again, so I got to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing because just throwing a shot out in the dark is not a strategy. So.
Our motto for today is "Don't be crazy." I think that's that's today's motto. Hey, Scott, we had a question from our good long-term friend Jim asking about Kakaako condos. How are those doing? Availability in the general. First of all, what's the availability like with the Kakaako condos, and is there a price? Is kind of a price range that you can speak to, Scott, to address Jim's question?
Yeah, it's actually interesting because I've been keeping a close eye on Kakaako, Ala Moana, and Waikiki just because that's been a different segment for a little while, and I knew things were shifting, so I pay closer attention to those when I do see that shift. There's 150 units in Kakaako alone that are on the market for sale right now. 85 are in escrow, and 220 have sold in the last 6 months. So plenty to choose from, and there's a lot of buying and selling activity that's going on there. The lowest sale was roughly 400,000. That's basically going to get you a studio, maybe a small 1-bedroom. And the highest sale was over 10 million, which is going to be a penthouse unit in probably Ward Village or close to a penthouse unit. But 670,000 is the median price in the Kakaako area.
670. Okay. So quick summary answer, Scott, is I see 670,000 is the median price, which means half sold above and half sold below, and there is availability. So Jim, you've been with us for a while, buddy. Make sure we make sure we connect you with Scott so you can kind of get your process. You can get going over here. Let's see. We've got a couple of